Welcome to Take It Down a Notch with Rob.
And Lindsay Loke.
There we go. I don't hear us again. Fantastic.
Any echoes? Any?
We'll take that out of the once we edit this
I
out.
hope
But we
so.
started out with a
We have one
repeat of
viewer.
everything we were saying. It was a little rough.
We have one viewer on our live. At least, maybe that's you.
It
Is
might
that
be
you?
me. It might be me. So, um, the I don't know. I'm not with it
Okay.
this morning.
We are a mess, people. We don't even know what we're going to talk about today. We've had such like busy lives with new apartments and new dogs that we've had lots of subjects and topics. But you know what? I have figured out exactly what we're going to talk about today.
You
And that
do.
would be this book because somebody hasn't filled it out. And you know what? It's November. And you know what? The year's almost over. And you know what? You could just start over this book next year. And I'm sure it would be basically blank. And you could just start in 2024 instead of 2023, which would put you
Well, it's
late.
a 4 year. It's a 4 year journal.
It's a 5 year journal.
5 year journal. I
You
know
don't
because I
even
look at it
know
every day.
the title of the book. Okay, so last year for Christmas, Dad got me this book. It's a 5 year journal, and I'm not sure why he got it for me because, and got me another one that he was like, you could give to somebody else, implying that it should be given to him. And, but I was like,
I'm
happily,
subtle.
I was really happy to give it to him since he bought it for me. I was like, this sounds like a great idea. We'll do this together, and anyways, the plan was we were going to text each other every single day with the answers. And especially when I was in France, this is the way we were going to bond and connect. And then we decided to do a podcast instead. So he's forgotten about our book.
I cannot
Anyways,
forget about my book. My mother, my daughter mother, seems to text me or
excuse me.
Snapchat me about every 3 days. How's the book
I do
coming?
not.
Fill out your book right now.
I
You
do
should
not.
stop
It's
what you're
about
doing
once a week
and.
that I do it. I do not do it every 3 days. It's about once a week. Okay, today's question. We're just going to do all the questions. We're going to go through the whole year. This is going to be a long podcast. Today's question, November 7th, 2023. But for you, you can just put in 2024. Forget about it. Do it next year. Um, I never leave home without checking blank.
I never leave home without checking something.
I never. Okay, I don't want to say never. Never's like a big word. Okay, but I don't know what I would say. I exactly like check, but oh, there's like a ton of people leaving the church. Do they look like they're crying? They're not all wearing black. Okay, sorry. There was really interesting church bells earlier today, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Hmm.
It is like all old people, but they're not all wearing black. We really thought they were. I even like texted Hugo a recording of the bells. And I was like, "Look, the bells are really pretty." He's like, "I think it's a funeral." Those they don't. I don't know. It's weird.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
there's
look at
a
that! More pretty bells. Can you hear them?
no. We can't. I can't hear.
And it's random. It's like 4:13 in the morning, not in the morning, in the afternoon. That's
I
really
wonder.
weird. Okay, sorry.
I wonder if there's a Catholic holiday.
No, if it was a Catholic holiday, then everybody would have work off because
Mm,
France is a Catholic country.
right.
So I mean, I at least all like the major ones.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe.
anyways,
Hmm. And
um,
what's the pigeon status now?
okay, the pigeon status is I think that there's one all the way up top, but there's no pigeons. I think that they got scared away by the bells because there's almost always pigeons sitting up there.
Yeah.
But like 15 minutes ago, I realized there was no pigeons. And I think it's because of the bells. I think it scares away the pigeons, which is surprising. I would think they would get used to it.
So the this cathedral, I've seen pictures. Obviously, I've never been to their apartment. Haven't been invited, but the
Yep.
the
We only like people who do their homework.
This cathedral's like almost like right across the street.
It is actually right across the street.
Yeah,
There is
I
a
didn't
parking
realize.
lot in front of it. Like, so there's the bakery that's like straight shot in front of me. And then there's like a road.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish cars. And then there's the cathedral.
Hmm.
Oh, it looks like they're all waiting for people. Like they're all looking. Maybe it's like a wedding. Okay, sorry, we're gonna pause the podcast. More people are leaving the church.
We have Lindsay on the scene. We're gonna go to Lindsay in remote Paris, Washington.
Okay, there's a few less old people.
Okay.
And it looks like everybody's getting out and then like clearing to the side and they're looking in the middle. But there's trees in my way. We should cut those trees. Cannot actually see what's going on. There's now 2 people watching me on YouTube watching this. This is riveting information. Hey, Dad, you tell a story or something. I really want to figure out what's going on. I think I might go outside if I wasn't on the call right now.
You're gonna stay here.
I'm also in pajamas, so
we're gonna finish the podcast. So
you're in
pajamas.
People.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon or something.
I know. It's like 4:15. No, today was a pajama day. I decided.
You've just given up. You don't get dressed anymore. You just
I
just
like to watch people
all day, lurking,
just watching out the window
with binoculars, looking out the window. What's going on?
I should get binoculars.
What are they doing?
I should get binoculars.
Writing down license plate numbers. This car's been by here 5 times.
Writing down them at 4:10 or 4:11, there was 3 pigeons on the church.
Calling
4:15, there is now 5.
Calling the police. There's a suspicious looking character. This person's gone to the bakery 5 times this week. I think they're casing the joint.
Going to the bakery 5 times would actually be pretty normal.
So, where is your bakery? You don't go across the street.
Okay, so it's very complicated. Across the street has great croissants. And I'm American, so I say croissant, and not however they say it. And
croissant or something.
Croissant. Like that. I don't know. I honestly can't do it properly, or when I do, I don't really know. It's probably a little embarrassing. Okay, now people are actually like leaving and going into their cars, but they're all still kind of huddled around. So interesting. I know this is really not that interesting. It's interesting to me though. I've just never seen like any activity at the church. Like I haven't ever seen people go actually inside. Some people will hide there, not like they just hide because of the rain. I just couldn't.
Oh my gosh.
I just like to say we lost a viewer at this point. We've lost a viewer. So even like
imagine why. Oh my gosh. That's just so just to let the internet know, this is my child without ADD.
We lost 2 viewers.
We've lost everybody. They've all left. We
lost everybody. They've all left us.
It's nice to know that people have some sort of life. So we're doing the book. What do you leave? What do you check? You're gonna have to start doing the podcast from someplace else. You can look out the window.
I think I should move. No, a police just kicked out a car. They just, I think.
A police just what?
Like had a car. Like, I think they just had somebody move their car.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's police or if it's like.
You said kicked out. I didn't understand what that was.
Yeah, they like had somebody move their car. Well, they were parked in like an illegal spot, so it kind of makes sense.
So
Okay, now they're like shaking hands with all the same people. Like they're doing like almost like a line.
right, like a reception line thing.
No, no, it was just the French being French.
Hmm.
Never mind. Okay, we have a viewer again, so we need to be
So
entertaining.
how does
Um,
so I was um let's see how much does it make sense. So a local chef that is French passed away this last week. So there's been lots of talk about him. So I don't know if you've ever been with me on the weekends. There's a radio show. He also does a podcast, the Hot Stove Leave or Hot Stove Society. There's a couple chefs in the Seattle
okay.
area, and they do a podcast. And
Oh, I didn't
um,
know that.
one of the one of the people in this has been going on for like 20 years. They've been doing this
Oh, wow.
this radio show,
Hmm.
and he passed away of cancer. And so there's been lots of talk
Hmm.
about him and what a great guy he is and or was, and um, he whistles and all that stuff. But being French, he does the little kiss on the cheek thing. So there's lots of
Right.
and which um, we're not real familiar with how to do that. So there's been lots of talk of awkward things with him. So are you used to that now? This whole
No,
no.
no. I've gotten a little bit used to it. Every time that I come to France, it shocks me. Every time I always forget about it, and then I like get in a situation where it's like, where do I go?
So
It's
I didn't
really
realize
weird because
that there's a you start on one side.
oh yeah, like well
It
you
makes
have to start
sense.
or you're gonna
Oh,
kiss.
I just got
So
unplugged. Hold on.
we're a mess. We finally get into something and
Henry
like
just unplugged me. Go lay down. Go lay down. Get it? And go lay down. So I did not realize that there was a you start on one side. Which side do you start on? Oh, you can't hear me?
I lean and I like touch
Oh.
cheeks with my right side. No, no, no. I had to do it to like remember. Um,
You
you
were
like
leaning
I
you,
touch
she
cheeks
was
with
leaning
like
forward and
on
it
the
was
right
like
side.
I can't hear you. So okay.
No, 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 no.
So
Sorry.
so
No,
you
it's
do
the
right
right
cheeks
cheek.
first? Okay.
Yes. Yes, and then you do left cheek. And if you're from different parts of France, then you'll do different amounts. Like some people do like 3. Some people get really excited and they'll do like 10. Not really. But like apparently there's like some older people they'll like just kind of keep going. Not really, but like I don't really know how to like articulate today. I'm not really sure how to explain it.
It just seems so weird to
It's
me.
never happened to me. So my weird thing is at first I really liked the idea because I was like, it's so nice that there's like a universal thing that you do.
All right.
However, it's not universal. It's just like the hug in America. Where
Okay.
it's like, I don't know if I hug this person. I don't know if I like handshake this person. I don't really know. And it kind of changes in the situation.
So
Church, church, like, and the other thing, okay, it takes so long. You have to greet everybody and you have to like, and you have to say goodbye to everybody. And it's not like you go like, okay, we're gonna go bye. Most of the time, you need to like go to be polite. So in like a family setting or something like that, you like say goodbye to everybody and you do it too. So it's
okay.
hello and goodbye. And like at family settings, you literally have to go around and like it's like when you're a kid and you have to hug everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's kind of takes a while, you know what I mean? And everybody does it, like
Yeah.
so it's like a circle. Like anyways, oh, I just hit the microphone. I'm not insulting the French culture. It's just different.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is that I don't like about it is one, it's really close to get like that close to somebody's face.
Mm-hmm.
And like to me, like a kiss on the cheek, which is what it's similar to, but
Right.
technically you touch cheeks with the other person.
Right. You're not lip
It's
to cheek. You're kind of cheek to cheek, right?
Yeah, which I didn't understand at first. I thought it was like a kiss on the cheek. So,
But you make
um,
but you make like a kissing sound or something,
you
right?
make a kissing sound, but occasionally some people will like if you're really French, then you know that you don't actually like you don't pucker your lips, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. I've noticed this. I've had people like at first who told me they're like, "Don't no, don't you're not kissing the person. Don't pretend like you're kissing the person." But if I do it without making the sound, then so because it is a kiss, but it's different
Right.
like you know so and I haven't really ever understood that part. I so I'm not here today. I'm all over the place. Okay, so okay, sorry. I'm like cannot focus on one thought. So, um, the first time I was in France, it really took me off guard, and I totally had forgotten that it was a thing. Um, and so I actually had because I'd have people they'd just come up and they just like, do it, and I'll be like, "What's going on?" Or I'll do like the wrong side, or and then you're like all messed up, and it's so I've had many awkward encounters doing this. There's barely a time where it's like not awkward.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, when I was first in France, I actually had um I met one of Lena's friends and then we did it. And then afterwards I was like, sorry, I'm like, this is kind of new to me. Like I don't this is not something we do. And so we literally sat there and like practiced in the middle of the street. Like because I just couldn't I was like, not that I couldn't figure it out, but I just need to like get
You
used to
couldn't
it.
do it without
And
being
then
so
it's to
awkward.
yeah. And so now I feel like I'm a little bit better at it. And like I this trip, but like at the beginning of this trip, I did the same thing where I'd forget. The
Yeah.
other thing I don't like about it is the fact that like hugging is not a thing that people do here. Like
Mm.
even like with Hugo's mom, it'll like make her uncomfortable when I hug her, but I do. So it's just because I'm American and I'm a hugger, like I want to like give somebody a hug.
Yeah.
So, but also the weird thing is that a lot of people will like kind of embrace you. Like if it's not just a greeting, if you are close to the person, they'll like kind of like embrace you at the same
Okay.
time. Like they'll give you kind of a hug
Like
sort of thing.
like grab you on the shoulders type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And for
Or,
me, I have to do like I've realized that I'm more comfortable if I put like a hand like on their shoulder or chest or
mm,
like touch them in some way. It makes it feel a little less awkward. But I only do that more if I know the person. I don't
yeah.
know. I'm getting more used to it. But at church, like I said, everybody like you'll have people who come and just greet you and say, "Hey, good morning," and then like do the bisou and then they'll like go or so or you'll talk for a little bit. Because we go to a very friendly church.
Yeah.
So everybody's talking to everybody. Um and it was a little so and then I have also noticed that um like at the church specifically, I think it kind of changes depending. But like the guys, like with Hugo, he'll get
Hmm.
handshakes with other guys.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do the bisou with me. And then of course if it's a girl, he'll do like the le bis is actually what it's called. It's not called a bisou, it's called le bis.
Lippy.
Um and so he'll do that.
Mm.
So it's interesting. It's definitely been we were actually just talking about how like awkward like something happened when I did the labis when I met Hugo.
Hmm.
So but I don't like totally remember what. I just know it was awkward. And we were talking I think like we both
Probably
messed
kissed
up
him on the
somehow.
lips or something.
I wish.
Disgusting.
Hubba
Disgusting like
hubba.
that.
Okay, so this is really embarrassing. I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but I have no filter, and today I have no mind, so it works. So I don't know if I've ever told you this. This is really embarrassing for me. So at church camp,
Hmm.
I was like, I think the second year that I was leading, and so it was before I got engaged because it was last year. Um, so yeah, before I got engaged, I had a group and they're like seventh grade going into eighth um and of course they wanted to hear about the boyfriend and all that, and I was a little bit more open, and at camp I'm a little bit more open, because it's also kind of a weird boundary as a leader. Like I've been a leader, I was a leader for these girls for like at that point 2 years, and so I knew them pretty well. And we talk about the ins and outs of life and stuff, and I'm pretty open about other things in my life, so to talk use my life as like an example, and you know
Mhm.
um because try to talk things out and everything.
Right.
And also I really feel like as a leader, like if you're open, like they'll be feel more okay with being open, and that kind of thing. But it's also a hard line because like I'm an adult, not a kid anymore, and like so I know that there has to be boundaries, but like
Right.
figuring that out as like a church leader where they're also like you're pretty buddy buddy with them, and with me being younger, like it's been like a struggle, a little bit. There's nothing bad has ever happened, but this is one of the points where I'm like, maybe I crossed the line. Anyways, church camp really, you don't sleep, especially as a leader. There's no sleep involved, and you're exhausted, and you're on your feet all day. And also, I had 10 girls that year, and I decided it was my job, during free time, to constantly know where all of my girls were. So I would walk around the camp. I'd find like 5 girls or all together, and then 2 girls together, and then, and all that. And I'd figure out where they are. And then I'd like start over again, and then be like, okay, where's this group? Where's this group? Where's this girl? Like, and make sure, constantly. So I was just, you're exhausted. Okay. Anyways, my girls are like asking me questions, and they're like, what does he look like? And at some point, I guess I said, I don't know, hubba hubba, as like a joke.
Mhm.
And like the girls thought, of course, this was hilarious. And so now, a good amount of my church girls will call Hugo hubba hubba Hugo, and have for quite a while. And what's even more embarrassing? One of our
Mm.
pastors at the church was talking to the girls, and they were trying to figure out how well they knew their leader. Just like they're just playing around with the girls. And he was asking her, so like, oh, like, okay, like how old's Lindsay? Like how old, and all these things. And he's like, oh, she has a boyfriend at the time, boyfriend. And she has a boyfriend. Do you know the name of the boyfriend? And they're like, oh yeah, hubba hubba Hugo. And then they told the story about how I was talking with my girls, and I said hubba hubba about my boyfriend, and to a pastor at our church. And I was
Uh,
so utterly embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I was
hubba,
like,
hubba, hubba.
I like, and I didn't even, I never, I maybe occasionally will say like hubba hubba as like a joke, but it's not like I use it very often. I don't know why that's how I decided to describe my boyfriend, and be like, oh, well, hubba hubba, and then just like leave it at that. I don't know. Anyways, I feel better now that we're like married. I feels like kind of okay.
That's
Like,
funny.
but it was really, really embarrassing. Actually, the next after I said it, like 5 minutes after, I was like, that might have been like crossing a line. And I actually went to my co-leader Becky later, and I was like, okay, like last night, like we were talking, and I said hubba hubba Hugo, and she's like, Lindsay, I think it's fine. She's like, it's okay. Like I was like, I don't know what the lines are. Blah, blah, blah.
Uh,
Anyways,
that's crazy.
random story time with Lindsay.
Yeah. Well, so everything else is going good in France. It's a sunny day there today, it looks like.
Yeah, it's really nice and sunny today. It's been pouring rain and super windy and very bipolar with the weather. It'll be like all at once storm, and then it'll be like kind of sunny, and then it'll be like horrible wind, and it'll be kind of sunny.
Hmm.
But it's kind of giving me Washington vibes because I feel like we do that too.
Yeah.
Very similar weather. We're on like the same spot.
It's been very rainy here the last forever, seems like right now. Lots
Yeah.
and lots of rain.
Yeah.
So the trailer is gone at the house, the big
What?
trailer.
Oh, I
Yep.
thought we were keeping the trailer.
No, we not we came to our senses. We're not keeping the trailer
Finally.
and the
They wanted
tractor.
to keep, okay. Okay. To explain on this podcast. We have a big house, okay? There are currently only 2 people living in this gymongous house. And it's a lot to take care of, okay? And you guys work. The parents have a lot going on. They hate being called the parents. Anyways, so um, a lot going on. Okay, they also have an apartment, like a studio apartment kind of style, but like a big one with a kitchen and like a full bathroom and you know full bedroom. Like it's like a decent sized apartment. I've
It's
lived
like a
in it. It's pretty
mother-in-law.
nice. It's
Yeah.
it's a mother-in-law apartment, so it's connected to the house. They also have a camping trailer that they use a few
Hmm.
times a year. And they decided that's not enough space. We are going to steal our friend's trailer that we used for the wedding. They were like, no, we should just keep this. Like
We were gonna
this, I
steal
think
it. We were gonna